Right, here we are back again, and of course we're now going to make some acorns. Just going to show you not just acorns, but we're going to make this little chappy here as well, um, because you might have had, if you're a flocker, a full subscribing flocker, you might have had the box, the flock box, which is here. These mice are still watching. There we go. This is what came in the flock box in November. So you've got all of these wools here is what comes in our spiced wool mix. So you have a taster of what our spiced wool mix looks like. And it's such a lovely, warm and spicy color looking mix. Just absolutely perfect for the season. And because we know that sometimes it's hard to find little acorn cups, especially I'm actually now finding out that some of them you find them in places and in the UK, and in some places you don't. It's actually very dependent on the location, whether there has been a good year of acorns or not. So it's not nationwide. You might be in a lucky spot to have found some cups, but we're sending some to you so you can at least make 3 little acorns with the cups, and if you found some of your own, you can even do more. I should also just say you would have had the free instructions to make these larger version of acorns. They're all wool, so they don't have to have this color combination. They can be just made from the spice mix. You will need a little bit of black of your own, but you can scale up the acorns and make, and then actually there he hasn't got his little, there they also have a little stalk here, and yeah, I really like them. I gave them when I did them some time ago. See them there, I gave them all singing mouths like that, and I think they look amazing either as a garland, maybe on your mantelpiece, or as little Christmas tree decorations, or just seasonal decorations for the autumn. I think they're just such a lovely color, and with these little happy faces, cheer you up. Right, so the other exciting thing I've got to tell you is that I have, and if you're only just tuning in and don't know why the mice are here, this is a hopefully very exciting news, because we're going to use different wire for the mice, going away from pipe cleaner, and we're using different wire. And what that also means is, because the wire is slightly thinner, you can make much smaller mice. And for the December flock box, you are getting the mice. So yes, anyway, what is exciting is that I'm going to start with a new felting mat, a new Maker's earth-friendly felting mat. So this is the soft top. If you've never used these before, they're quite lovely. This is the firm base. I'm going to keep the soft top at the top, and to protect it, I'm actually going to use a bit of felt that I'm just going to fold inside, so it stays nice and trapped in there. It's a bit like making your bed. There. I need to pull that over a bit. That's annoying me. That's sticking out. So I am giving my felt sheet a cover to keep it nice and clean. And then I have also got one of these, and I've written on them my the needles that I keep in there, except it's not even true, because I have got other needles in there. But this needle case is just the best thing you spend your money on. Absolutely love this. So I'm going to take out probably my medium needle, orange colored one, and a little bit of wool. I'm just going to show you how to make an acorn first. Let's make let's see what color I'm not using so much in there. Let's make this color acorn. You'll be pleased to know you don't have to undress your sheep if you're making just the acorns, and you can just tease off the tinsiest, weeniest, tiny bit of white to make his eyes, so your sheep can stay dressed. Basically, it's a little bit hit or miss how much wool you're using to make this acorn. But what you can do is you can sort of pre-shape the wool and roll it into a sausage shape by tucking the sides in as well at the same time. And if you roll it really tight, don't worry about it if it's the wrong shape. You get an idea of how big or small this could potentially be, and this looks quite good. So I'm sticking with this. So if you've never needle felted before, you never know, then just roll your shape up. I actually find it easier to hold it in my hand, and just wind the ends in a little bit. Claudia, I'm just reading here. Claudia says it's too cold to undress the sheep. You don't have to undress them entirely. So once you've rolled this up, just stab into these wispy ends to secure them. Like that. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, this is not far from being an acorn. It's really, 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 really easy. Claudia says, where were the instructions for the larger acorn, please? They're on the flock corner. You have to go onto our website, be logged into your account, and they are there as a resource. There's also a free tutorial on our YouTube channel on how to make them. So you can, if you rather just watch me doing them, then you can find them there as well. An acorn wreath, that sounds amazing. I love the spice mix. I never have ideas of what to make with them. So this is the perfect little project. Excellent. It's felt this down a bit more. I reckon those little acorns might sell at your fair as well. And also the slightly bigger acorns. And you just use one color. Tease off a little bit of each of these so that you've got some hat color. Use a little bit of each of them and make the acorns maybe a little bit smaller, even the large acorns. Make them sort of medium sized. They don't need to be as big as that. Right, so once it's felted down, roll it a bit between your hands, pop it in the acorn, dab of glue, little dab of glue, and you have made your first acorn. Really simple and easy. I'm looking for glue. I don't have any glue here. Anyway, you get the gist. So now we want to move on to this. And I haven't got the faintest idea anymore how I made this. So this is going to be like that, but it might be made very different. Oh gosh. Okay, so I have actually used that slightly more rust brown rather than the ochre. So that's for the head. Very similar size. Let's do the head first. So it's like making another acorn, basically. This one is a bit smaller, so I might have to add some more wool. If your acorn is too small, you can always add a little bit more wool over the top. But get it felted down first. Good tip somebody has given before. If you haven't got finger protectors, use another needle to hold things in place. If you're worried about sticking that needle into yourself, the only thing what I find is when you do this, you don't want to stab into your needle. I actually prefer holding it, but I know everybody has their own way. The other advice that I will give you, when you stab into your shape, when the needle, if you imagine the line of the needle, if it goes all the way, I always make sure it ends up in the mat and not in my fingers. So it's the line of the needle that needs to end in the mat, not your fingers. So you always have to stab way more downward than you think. You can just keep turning the shape and you should be fine. Okay, again. Yeah, that looks good. So let's just give it a little bit more felting down. So that is how did I do this? Somebody please help me. Okay, let's take the red for his body. I'm going to make a slightly larger more portly acorn here and felt it down. That's it. And I just had a thought while Steffi was talking. Ooh, what's the thought, Ed? The spice mix is great. Oh no, I've said that. Is it too cold? It's too. Oh no, I said that already. Have we had any more people joining us? B says, hi Steffi, my subscription didn't work. I got September because I contacted you because the website didn't work. So you sorted it for me, but then I didn't get October and November, so I've just subscribed again. Yeah, well, that is a solution too. You can resubscribe, and at the moment we're just having to manually look at everybody's subscription to make sure that if you are already a fellow, if you have already been a fellow, it won't change. But if you had to resubscribe and you becoming a fellow at some point, you need to email us. We can see your purchase history, and we know if you had to subscribe fresh. But it's been an absolute disaster. I genuinely cannot begin to tell you how much work this has cost so much time and money. It doesn't bear thinking about. It's extremely upsetting and annoying all at the same time. And we've had so many people trying to work on this because there's only so much that I was able to do, not just technically, but also from a time point of view. I'm just making that body a bit bigger. So what I'm doing is I'm actually added another layer of wool to make it bigger, but I'm not going to felt. On one end, I'm going to keep the wispy ends open because I need to secure the head to the body at some point. So I'm going to probably just leave this end wispy and open. Just felt this round. So I've made the red body. I've made the head in that variegated fox rust brown. And then this is the deep red variegated, as we call it, the deep red. No, it's not true. Yes, it is true. That's right. The deep red variegated. It might be called deep fox red or something like that. Everything's called fox. Never seen a fox that color, but still. So, and then I'm going to add the head. I think that's what I did next. So to add the head, I'm going to stab from one shape into the other. So I'm going to stab first from the yellow into the red, inside that fluffy opening. Just going around the edges. Going all the way around. And then I'm going to stab the red into the yellow, but I'm trying to do this so that I'm creating a neck rather than making one long sausage. I might just have to add a little bit more of the ochre color onto the head because it looks a little bit small in proportion, but it might be okay. Step that down a bit. That's pretty solid now. That's not going to come off. So you stab the yellow wool into the red first and then close the red up to form a neck to make the person. Just felting the head down a little bit more. It's quite soft. And this head is definitely smaller than the one that I made before, so I'm just going to add a little bit more wool around it, just to build a bit more bulk. But I need to also still have it fit my acorn. So you need to make sure that that neck stays, so don't get tempted to have the wool spilling over. Stab it into that neck and it will fasten it on, and then stab all over. I might actually go to a fine needle. That's better. Get that surface worked out. It is a very firmly felted little person. Make no mistake, this isn't done in 5 minutes. Your acorn is, but this little chap not. This little acorn chap. He's definitely firmly felted. Here we go. So he looks like a little round, but that's good. And then, yeah, his hat still fits, so that's good too. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him his trousers without the legs at the moment. So for this, I'm just going around the lower part of the body with a green layer of wool. It's sort of just under half, and felt that down. So make sure that the edge between the green and the red is very crisp. You want it to be like a proper transition between two types of fabric. I'm felting that down first to make sure that's nice and clean, that transition. And then I'm going to felt down the base. As I'm still having to attach the legs, I'm not too worried right now if there's a bit of red showing. Mind you, it's disappearing as we speak. Changing back to my medium needle. So I'm getting that lower body covered first. And felt that on. There. It's like a little peg. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him his little waistcoat without the arms. So I'm shaping that by using the wool. And I'm going to start with the that little front opening here. And I want it so that the red is not disappearing. So the red needs to be visible just beyond. So he's got quite a short little jacket on. So again, make sure you get that crisp line. And I'm actually going to do the front, both of those rounded parts here first. There. It's actually quite weird sitting here tonight in the Makers HQ, because I'm obviously not here normally at this time in the evening, but this is where all my live streaming is taking place from now. And I hadn't really thought through yet as I walked down. I hadn't really thought through yet how I'm going to walk back, because I do know the combination for the gate, I think, to get out. This could be, I could still be here tomorrow morning. Oh, funny that. Right, felt that down as well. So I'm just using little bits of wool to cover all of the back of my little waistcoat, which is just, it's going to be a little jacket. And I'm making the edge nice and neat. I've actually folded the wool so I don't have to fight wispy ends. And just felt the rest into the neck. Felt it onto him. And so at the moment I've got, my little person has got everything except for arms and legs, and they're coming next. It's very satisfying to felt this wool. If you like it, it has basically what it is. It's got a mix of stone sheep in it and New Zealand merino, and it's a very coarse fiber, but it makes a super solid felt, and those colors are just the best. It's just so nice to felt with it. So yes, there we go. You can actually close this up if you want to. It's up to you. So now I've got to make 2 arms out of this and 2 legs out of this. But what I'm also need is I need a little bit of a hand on both sides and little feet. And the way that I do remember how I've done this. So I'm using the slightly yellow wool. And what I've done is I need a strand. It's best to measure out 4 same patches because they're all pretty much the same size. There. So then at least you get a similar size. And all I'm going to do is I've got a slightly longer piece here, fold it in half, and I'm just going to roll in the top. And that's all I'm felting down into a little ball shape. So I'm making sure I've got wispy ends to hold on to. That's not just to keep my fingers safe, it's just a nice bonus. Oh, I'm so happy it's going to be weekend tomorrow. The happiest thing about the weekend, this is, you listen to me, is that I can work in undisturbed with no emails coming in. Nobody rings me. Nobody walks past my desk or shouts across the room, "Can you just have a look at this?" It sounds absolutely pathetic, but I'm childishly excited that I can work without being interrupted. So yes, silly really, isn't it? So I've made one quite firm little foot here, or hand. They're all the same. And then I'm going to make, I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. It's just so to not, for you not to have to think about it anymore. I'm actually just going to wrap the wool, the green wool around it now to make a sausage of the size of a leg. Like that. And then I felt it down. Now you need to make sure that you don't felt too far into the shape. I'm going back to the fine needle because you don't want it, you don't want the yellow wool to get pushed through the green. So just do shallow little stabs. And I'm just tucking the yellow inside here. Remember, you can always add more green. Making sure that the little feet are nice and firm. So that's one leg. And then I make my second foot, same way. So I fold it in half and I just roll the very tip of the wool in, felt it down. That's it. It's a little bit repetitive, so I do apologize. I'll see if I can read some messages at the same time. Okay, I love the spice mix. Oh no, that Hannah used. I've read that already. Here we go. Hello, sorry I can't stay. I'm eating and drinking some delicious food. Why can't you stay? You can eat and drink while you watch. Hope you all have a lovely stubbing session. Laura says, sorry, I'm going to have to go. See you next month. Absolutely. Sharon, I'm absolutely delighted that the masterclass cat portrait is included in the Rainbow Weekend. Thank you so much, Steffi. Well, you can thank me and Agnes because we're both having to make concessions, obviously. So, yes, she kindly agreed to this too. Yes, absolutely. Great. Okay, so I'm really sorry if this is really boring now because it's repetitive. I'm obviously making 2 legs and I've got to make 2 arms as well. But what I do is I'm going to attach the legs so you can see what happens next before I get to the arms. I'll wrap that tight, felt it down around the edge here first, hoping it's about the same size. We haven't once mentioned the weather today. That's quite unusual. Normally we talk about the weather. It's actually getting warmer. I did love the very cold, frosty day or two that we had. Yeah, I definitely like it. But I think it's getting warmer again, so that's also good. Keep the heating costs down. So yeah, all the things you've got to consider these days. Right, second leg, almost the same size, a little bit longer. Let's shorten it. So now I'm attaching the leg, and I do this by, he needs to sit down and his legs need to face forward. So I'm just going to attach them ever so slightly to the side here, just so that they're on, and I can cover more green wool over it to cover the join once they're on. There, one leg is on. And then I do the same on the other side. I just need to make sure that the legs are the same length. I'm just going to get that second leg on and then have a look. Yeah, that's not bad. You can make the legs shorter by going at a shallow angle in towards the body and shortening them. That also fastens them on really well. And then make sure he's got a flat bottom so he can sit down. And then you can actually cover that leg join with green wool so that it doesn't look like you've just attached a leg. And you can do that on both sides. And then do this on the other side as well. So that's two legs attached. Like I said, there is a lot, you will want to do a lot of felting. It's just very satisfying to have him so firm because this wool felts down. It's begging to be felted down really firmly. And now you have to repeat the hands and then the arms in exactly the same way as you've done the legs. But obviously they're going to be in that variegated turquoise, which will be lovely to match the little coat. And then we're nearly done. So really looking forward to the flock boxes in 2025, says Beth. Sharon says, and thank you so much to Agnes. Yes, shall pass that on. And Beth says, I want spring and summer to come back. Do not love winter. Yes, I know. I'm definitely the same. I'm with you on this one. What I will say is that I do like winter days when they're sunny and bright and blue skies and crisp weather and snow. I do love a good load of snow. But in general, that doesn't happen very often. So yeah, I'm with you about the summer. I'm okay undressing the sheep, says Fiona. But when I opened this month's box, it looked so colourful as it was. I didn't want to disturb it. I have though, and currently on the third small acorn, very therapeutic. It is quite nice making them. I think they're such. Imagine you have a little acorn, and use it as a little attachment on a gift to somebody. How cute is that? It just makes the packaging perfect, and then they end up with a little handmade gift as well. So, as a tip, if you want to hang your acorns up, it does work. I haven't got any sewing needle here, but you can usually pierce through. I don't want to use a felting needle really, but I am now. It's usually quite soft, and you can go through the top of a, I don't want to break my needle, but you can usually go through the top. So I've done, and then what I have done is knot your string or your thread inside the cup and put a bit of glue when you glue it on, so that the knot gets glued inside the cup, and then you can hang it up. It is a little bit risky because you might break your acorn cups, but it is possible to do that. And obviously don't go exactly bang on in the center, because that's the knobbly bit where the stalk was. You have to go ever so slightly to the side. But I have hung up loads of acorns doing it exactly that way. And by the way, the acorn is also a featured project in my Making Simple Needle Felts book. So if you ever need to remind yourself on how to do them, then they're in that book as well. Right, 2 little hands here. Let's use this turquoise wool to get the arm build. I'm trying to make the arms a little bit skinnier than the legs. Felt that down. Can hear the dishwasher upstairs. I keep having to remind myself, I'm the only person in the building. There is nobody here. It must be the dishwasher that I can hear. Oh dear, I'm not scared. I've locked myself in anyway. It is quite a scary industrial estate at night. If it was summer, I wouldn't mind. It would still be light. Right. Felt that all the way around. And that's one arm done. Take a little bit more. You can make loads of these little people if you've got the patience. Now on the one that I've made, I have used a tiny bit of the white from the sheep swatch, and then for the eyes, but for the pupil, I have used the green. So he's got green eyes. But if you prefer, you could use black, or you could even use glue-in eyes. Either will be absolutely fine. It's just I wanted to use what we had in the box and nothing else. So excited for the mouse next month. The mouselings. So can we say mouselings? No, you can't say that, can you? Mouseling is the plural of mouselings. I mean, mouselings is the plural of mouseling. God. It's getting late. Right. Okay, here we go. That's 2 arms. And now I'm going to attach them. So they need to go on the, we need to give him shoulders. So they need to go quite high up on the side of his body. The beautiful thing about this is that you can really shorten the arms and legs as you're felting them on still, by just stuffing more wool inside the body. So even if you've gone a little bit long, there we go. And then the other one goes here. So yes, that's opposite. So yes, the acorns themselves are not very hard to needle felt, which is why I've actually designed this little person, this little acorn person. So you had something a little bit more challenging to get on with. As well. And there we go. Add a tiny bit more blue here. I think the red is coming through. And then you can also now decide on his hair color. I felt that the really, really red, ginger red, was the best color, this carrot color. But you can go for other colors. Don't have to use this. And all I've done is I've literally given him a short haircut. So well, maybe we should do the eyes first. Let's do the eyes first. Right. A little bit of white. And I always like making eye indentations before I actually put the eyes in. The eyes need to sit halfway down the face. Once you start felting indentations in, it sort of sculpts the head a little bit as well. So put the white in for an eye. I'm using my fine needle still. It's quite small scale work there. And then, oh, I see. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the sheep's swatch is actually better. I completely forgot about that. It's very short fibered Cape Merino wool. Works perfectly for putting a small eye in because it's got such short fibers. So you can use the white, but I just used the white and I thought that's really quite long fibered. It's much easier to use the short fibered one. And then I used a tiny bit of green to put in for the eyes. Might be too big. Might have to pull that out again. Anyway, it's disappearing. Do the spaghetti trick, which basically means wind the last few fibers onto the tip of your needle by literally as if you're winding spaghetti onto your fork, and then once you've got them caught, you just stab them in. Such a good way of getting rid of little wispy ends. The alternative is you could cut them, which I'm doing now. There. So there are his eyes. You can of course work on them a little bit more. They look a little bit weird without hair, and then you can give him a little mouth that sort of shapes his face a little bit more. Just felt a little smiley mouth into the head, and then fill it with a little bit of the red wool, which he's got on his top body. He looks like he's been eating magic mushrooms. Huh? And it will all come right with the hair, I promise you. So what you could do is you could put hair. Oh my goodness, he looks wild. What a wild boy. You could just put the hair down like this. Remember, the acorn cap will sit on top. But if you were to put the hair, just felt it across the top of the head, like that, down his back. Don't felt right into the end of the wool. Then you could cut it and make it like a proper cut look. Do a little bit more here. So the dark fibers in this wool is actually a natural what did I say now? Stone sheep. They have a very dark colored sheep. So he looks quite wild, but what I'm saying is you could actually cut the hair now to give him more of a trim. It doesn't look quite so wild. It's definitely one eye that has an issue here. One pupil is definitely bigger than the other. And yes. Let's see what it looks like with the cap on. That wasn't it. Is that it? Oh yeah, that makes him makes a huge difference. So there you are. I'm just going to felt his head down a little bit more, make it a bit shorter. And try and make the top a little bit more narrow so the cap fits nice and snug. And then I consider this. Oh, he's holding his arm up now. So you can see how important it is to get that neck, keep that neck going. I need to just make that a little bit more distinct again. Otherwise, he doesn't look like he has got a, he hasn't got one, basically. It looks like he hasn't got a neck. So it is really quite important to have that neck separate from the head. And the eyes, I don't know what's wrong with the eyes. Maybe I should give him really long hair. He definitely looks a little bit like he's done something he shouldn't have. Let's give him a long hair fringe so that the eyes aren't so obvious. Oh, only with needle felting you can do this. Ah, dear. Okay, so I know that a lot of you have probably given up on me, and I totally get it. This has been a long project for making something very tiny, but I consider this done now. It's all in. He's such a rock solid little person. He's been stabbed absolutely loads, and I do think I've made his eyes a bit big, so he looks a little bit like he's, I don't know what he looks like, but his eyes look definitely big, much bigger than his eyes. They're a little bit more delicate. So he's looking up as well. He's looking straight. But in any case, just get your Acorn cup ready, put it on him, and a dab of glue inside the cup should do the trick to keep it on. And then make more if you want, but they will all end up looking different, as you can see with these two little ones. So that really brings this particular project to an end. I've got loads of wool left. Look, so much wool left. I can make so many more acorns and acorn girls and all color combinations. And all you need to do is actually, the only colors that I would change with these two is I would give different color hair and eyes, which you might supplement from your own. Right, that's all I've got for you tonight. If you have ordered anything from us, a digital download or PDF or whatever, and you haven't received it, look in your spam folder before you email us. But you can also email us and let us know that it didn't come through. Sometimes it can be that it doesn't get download, the link doesn't send to you. We know you purchased it if you haven't got it, and we make sure you get it, but it can often attachment, and your settings might just, I can't believe the bins are being, oh well, I'm never here at this time of the night, so I wouldn't know, would I? Let's just quickly catch up here. We had blue skies today. It was nice to see, but clouds soon build up, says Beth. I'm going to paint my acorn cups with gold paint. Oh, good idea. If you make a dent in the cup with an awl, but not a full hole, then push a strong needle through. It seems to help reduce the chance of the cup breaking. Good idea. Thank you for sharing that, Laura. Dawn says, I'm going to try and get some more acorn cups and make more little acorns to go with the red squirrel. I'm also tempted to make some oak leaves and add to a wreath. That sounds amazing. Well, the leaves were the month before, so you know exactly how to do that. Diane, oh sorry, Julie says, loving every moment, Steffi. Oh, thank you, Julie. That's lovely to hear from you. Lorna says, I'll have fun making little acorns tomorrow. Lovely. Amber says, thanks, Steffi. Julie says, take care going home in the dark. Love them, says Barbara. Thank you, Steffi. Diane says, thank you so much. It's lovely to see you again. Claudia says, thanks for great evening. And Diane says, thanks, Steffi, enjoyed tonight. Let's talk again very soon when you have seen so much of me that you probably don't even bother switching on again. That won't ever happen. So take care, everybody. Lots of love, and I can't wait to see you. Bye bye.